Welcome to the Creative Life Podcast, the place where creatives go for inspiration. On this show, we sit down with artists, makers, and creative thinkers to talk about the real stories behind the work, the challenges, the breakthroughs, and the lessons that shape a creative life. Each conversation is designed to inspire you, encourage you, and to remind you that your creative journey matters. My name is Jessica. I'm a creative coach as well as your host. I'm joined today by co-host Dr. Jacqueline Gibbons and a very special guest.
Well, I'm very excited about this evening, or today, or morning, or whenever you're watching. So, on our couch today, our guest is multidisciplinary artist and community builder whose work invites us to slow down, look closer, and reconnect. Based in Omaha, Sarah Craw is a self-taught artist working across abstract expressionism, mixed media, and minimalist typewriter illustration, blending bold textural pieces with quiet contemplative work rooted in space and wordplay. Her practice is intuitive and grounded in experimentation, allowing each piece to unfold through the process and discovery. Beyond her own work, she serves as executive director of Radial Arts Center, where she's helping shape Omaha's creative community by creating space for artists to connect, collaborate, and grow. Her work reminds us that creativity isn't just about what we make, but the space we create for possibility.
Yeah, that's an amazing intro. Thank you, Dr. Gibbons. And I'm really excited to get into today's conversation. So, Dr. Gibbons, how about you kick us off with the first question?
Is it possible that you could do an elevator pitch of you in 60 seconds only?
Well, that was a great elevator pitch for me, the introduction. Yes, Sarah Craw, I'm here in Omaha. I do freelance artwork and original artwork for offices and people's residences, and currently practicing abstract expression, like you said, in mixed media. I've always loved acrylic paint. I started out more traditional, like landscapes and more realism and portraiture and stuff, and then I've evolved into finding kind of my own voice in abstract and really being self-taught. That's just been through practice and trial and error. And then wordplay came along to contrast my busier paintings, like my louder, vibrant painting style, and then my quiet, minimalist illustrations. And yeah, it's just been really fun to develop, and I'm just really grateful that it's been well received.
Thank you. Now, you said it's been fun, which it has to be, because you've described your work as a state of play. Mm-hmm. What a great day's work. If you're in a state of play, I love that. So what does that look like in your day-to-day creative process?
Yeah, so that kind of came to me when I was writing out my bio or my artist statement for a show. I was like, I don't really know how to explain how these ideas come or how these forms get created. Part of the reason I like working with mixed media is because it's really just experimenting and playing with different mediums and kind of seeing what different combinations do. There are elements of control when you're working with like water, ink, acrylic paint, texture pastes, spray paint, or like aerosol, just all kinds of different possibilities. So I grew up kind of just having this explorative nature, and I kind of lost that for a while. So when I started to want to figure out how to paint abstract, I was getting really frustrated by trying to control it too much. And pretty soon I was like, no, I just need to enjoy this. I just need to let go and just play around and see what happens. And so through doing that, I've kind of developed my skills in being able to control certain elements and like placement, but then also letting the materials like do what they're going to do and letting the picture unfold, or kind of letting that story unfold on its own. So.
I love that. It's as though you're not entirely certain of the destination. I'm just going to keep taking one step and the next step, and where does this step take me? And I'm just going to keep moving until, I think this is it.
I don't know where I'm
Yeah.
going, but I'm glad I was invited
Right.
I love
Right.
that. I love that.
along
I
for the
like that
ride.
too. And then, so Sarah, you and I were able to have a really beautiful session together at 1111 Wine. And so when you're talking about this and you're also talking about the art taking you, you know what I'm thinking of? My favorite painting by you, which is Secular Movement. And you talked, when we were talking one-on-one, you talked about how the painting, it wanted to make itself, it wanted to define itself. And so I can see how now I'm connecting more about you. You're saying, okay, the art of play, but then also I wanted to control, and that was one painting you couldn't control. I could even, so Dr. Gibbons, okay, if you're in Omaha, you have to go to 1111. It's up in April. But you can actually see her frustration because like the canvas had cuts in it.
Wow.
And so when she's saying that she had to let go of control, you're actually talking to an artist that truly walked through that process. So when you were both talking about that, I was like, oh, Secular Movement, my favorite painting.
Yes.
I'm trying to picture that right now, you being angry with a canvas.
Picture a electric sander.
Okay.
Yes, there were marks.
Multiple
Like, Sarah was here.
We were fighting. But in the end, and I didn't even know if that piece would become something that I wanted to show, or sometimes they're just, it's the finished piece is not really something that I want to showcase, but it was worth the time and energy to like learn. And that piece in particular, I left some of the elements of like discord because it was just part of the process. And so I'm really glad that you noticed that and like
Yes.
appreciated that.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, it was the one that stopped me. Even though it says movement, it made me stop my movement. So, but that also goes into, so how did you develop your voice as a self-taught artist? I mean, bring us through that process and evolution.
Yeah. Well, I grew up pretty traditional. I had a wonderful supportive family, but they weren't really understanding quite what I wanted to do through art. They didn't, it wasn't really common to make art a career. I'm definitely a free thinker, and I'm just always kind of on my own path, and it kind of scared some of the people, the people raising me sometimes, because they wanted me to maybe take routes of just traditional, like go to college, get formal education, find a job. And I decided that wasn't for me. I did go to college right after high school, but decided that classroom learning wasn't for me. I wanted to be in the workforce and be creating freelance artwork and just kind of learn through doing. I've always been that way. So as a self-taught artist, I did make that conscious decision to leave college, but I always thought I would kind of go back for like a design degree, or I mean, I wanted to go to art school, but I ended up going to community college, and then we decided, through the workforce, I just kind of always made it a point to stay on my art path and find time to create. That I was lucky enough to sell my work and be able to kind of just step by step showcase what I was working on. And so yeah, finding that voice, I guess I was just making my own way my whole life a little bit, and kind of not standing up against anybody, but just definitely very clear. I think I was one of those people who was always really lucky to know that art was my true calling or my true passion. I didn't realize how that's kind of uncommon for some people. They're like, I don't really know what I love or and I've known it my whole life. So I see like the goal, and the goalpost is always kind of moving, but I still just like stay on that path. And teaching myself made sense financially at the time. And then, yeah, it's something I'm really proud of.
No, absolutely. I think you should be. Because the wonderful thing about the show, Dr. Gibbons, is that we get artists from every different path. And I think that there's someone out there listening that has a similar path where they are a person who learns by doing, and being in four walls is not the thing that is feeding what they need in that creativity. So hearing it from you to say, hey, I advocated for myself every step of the way. And in showing up for myself and listening to myself, it helped me create my artistic voice. So when we see you on a gallery wall or when we come to Radio Arts Center and you're promoting other artists, like we get to see that voice because that voice is truly something you've crafted over your lifetime. And I think that's valuable to all of our listeners.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, I need to say, my question is a little interesting, especially given your experience with her secular movement piece. So, your work invites interpretation. And so, what do you hope viewers feel versus understand?
Yes, that is really important to me. It's become very important to me, especially like the last 5 years, just going through life changes, becoming a parent, and just really realizing that the best way I can thrive is to be a continuous student, just like be a constant like thirst for knowledge and learning. So my art, I really want my art to invite people to feel things or feel they don't really need to have like a conclusion or that's what I love about abstract, that again, it's not like abstract isn't for everybody, but I have really found just so much fulfillment in creating things that tell a story, but it gives people room to just contemplate and kind of make up their own minds or just accept maybe what is without needing to like figure it out. Or so through my process, that's what I try to achieve for myself, is just like the only time that a painting is finished is when I kind of decide that it's finished. I could work on these forever. So through the process, or the painting tells me when it's finished.
Tells you to get off my canvas.
So yeah, I think just helping people kind of stay in that open-minded state where they can invite something to just be there. They don't really have to figure it out.
And if you're wondering, I did not figure out secular movement at first. It was really interesting because my interpretation was completely different than yours. So in the picture, I don't, well, I guess it's okay. I'll give a spoiler. So it has curves. And because we're in Omaha, Nebraska, the natural thing that I thought of curves was the interstate, because we don't have that much of a natural landscape. But for her, she's like, actually, it's like a river and a divide. I was like, oh. And that's so interesting because I was thinking about the cars and the secular movement. It had different layers, right? Because it had the political, it could have the environmental, so many different things. But the way that the painting and the strokes were, you can interpret it so many different ways. And Sarah didn't shut me down. She invited me to have that interpretation. And so I think that's really beautiful, because sometimes some artists are like, no, this is absolutely what it is, and you need to. And I respect that, okay. But you were so gentle with me. You're like, and you were like, okay, tell me more. Like, how did you, but we don't have natural landscapes. So the only thing that curves is the interstate.
Oh, I love hearing people's interpretations. And yeah, maybe what I was thinking when I was creating it is one thing, but I like to leave things kind of open-ended. Or sometimes I'll go to a critique and they'll be like, well, what's the focal point? And I'm like, yes, I do want there to be structure, and there are just like basic functional things that you learn when you're learning how to paint. But abstract, I really like the undetermined. Well, I had a starting point, but here we are, and it took me on its own little journey. Now, what journey is it going to take the viewer on? Or because yeah, I've heard interstate, I've heard river, I've heard like cornrows.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
can see the cornrows too. Okay.
And then some people call those leaves, petals, keys. So I love all the different interpretations. That's what it's all about, is to see what people's minds and emotions bring them to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what does this say to you? I
It
think
does.
I think that would be interesting. You know, what are other people seeing, and what has happened in my mind and happened on this canvas?
Yeah.
No. And I want you to see. I want you to go see her
Okay.
gallery. I really do.
You don't have to tell me twice.
No. And then since we're talking about galleries, also, what inspired you to step into leadership at the Radio Arts Center? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I joined as a volunteer board member in 2020, and it was just a really great team. I think there was 9 of us at the time, and just really like inspirational people that wanted to expand or create a space for artists, emerging artists specifically, to show or practice music or have like readings, poetry readings, and I just saw what they were doing. I had been a member of Benson First Friday, BFF, and I had done a couple commissions for some people in that community. So I got referred, and I was just very like honored to be thought of and asked to be a board member. So that was 2020, and then I stayed on, and as other people kind of rolled off, I became one of the more experienced board members, and that led to, in 2023, our executive director stepped down, and that they nominated me, and I was, again, very honored. I guess I just have felt this calling and passion to keep creating an inviting, inclusive space that emerging and mid-career artists can walk into and feel very unintimidated, and just feel very inspired to, and not like scared to maybe approach us and say, how do I get a show here? Or how do I get involved? Or maybe they don't have a full collection of their own work, but they want to join a group show, or they want to. So, because a lot of people are intimidated by like art galleries, or if you've always been intrigued by art, but you're not like in the scene, is what I hear a lot. Well, I'm not in the art scene. It's like, it can be, it can be intimidating. So we try to really open our doors to everybody, whether it's artists or art appreciators, whether you've stepped foot in a gallery or you never have, or whether you're corporate and you're trying to kind of find that bridge between like corporate and just creative free thinking again. We really, that's what one of our board members works on, is bringing art to the corporate world, and just.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about too.
Yes.
I do know. I know who you're talking about. We had coffee. I know exactly what you're talking about.
did?
Yes.
Good. Amazing, Laura.
Yeah.
Laura Johnson.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yes, she's amazing.
Someone who
She's
I'm gonna
my
try to get
fellow
on this
board
show.
member. Oh, really?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna pitch her.
She would be wonderful.
She's really cool. Keep going. You know,
No.
cool people.
Well, that's the other reason I'm like passionate about it, because I've met so many incredible artists and art appreciators, buyers, just people who want to support artists, even if they don't like create themselves, or I don't know. It's so inspiring. I've met so many amazing people,
I
and
bet.
it becomes like really quickly you start to find a network of people that want to achieve the same goals. So, yeah, when they asked me to be the director, I didn't know what all that entailed. I've worked in like business development and small business, and I'm an entrepreneur. I know marketing and promotion, but it really does involve everything. It's like the networking and communication with artists or curators, and then it's the I guess, project management of putting the shows together, and then it's the curating an installation, how much hands-on you need to be. Sometimes an artist, it's their first show ever and they want a lot of guidance. Other times we've worked with artists who they're like, give me the key, I got it. We'll just be here if you need us. So, so yeah, it's kind of, you just get to experience how art brings people together and kind of offer that space and show people that like it's right here. It's right here. You can access it. You can talk straight to the artist. You can visit their studio. You can buy original art instead of maybe like going online or going to a big store and just, yeah, you find stuff you like, but do you connect with it? Yeah.
It's different.
So
you found a beautiful gap.
Yeah. So it's a passion project for sure, but we've had our best year ever so far. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's great to
Love
hear.
our community.
I know.
And the vibrancy and just the people that make it unique. Tell people like this is an art hub.
It really is.
That's why we focus on Nebraska.
Yeah.
There's something special here.
It's so unexpected. Not being from here, I was blown away by everything that Omaha is, and the amount of the culture, the arts, the creative expression. It's no one. I don't think there's anyone who would anticipate that would be here.
Right.
It's not originally
You
from
hear
here.
Omaha, Nebraska,
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Yeah.
cows and corn and
Yeah.
sticks and
And good steak.
A good steak. And Warren.
And Warren.
And Warren. Okay, now you touched on this a little bit. So I'm wondering, what gaps did you see in Omaha's creative community that you wanted to help fill?
just uplifting emerging artists and really like beginner career artists who they know they enjoy making, and am very involved in like visual arts, so I do work with some like poets and photographers. I don't know quite as much about like the music scene or the like theater scene, but just as far as seeing some gaps in like the visual art or like art placement for paying artists and hiring artists to do work for corporate spaces and commercial spaces, whether that's like murals and really large installations or even just curating like a wall in an office or a library. I've seen a little bit more like outsourcing than I would like, and people kind of find what they like and then they just kind of stay with it. They don't. So I would encourage people to really venture out a little bit more and come to Benson for the First Friday Art Walk or go to the art fairs. There's always like makers markets and art fairs going on throughout the year, and you'll just be blown away by some of the stuff you see that people are creating and making. And then, yeah, just kind of go from there. But I do see a little bit of emerging artists kind of get buried by really amazing artists who are, professional, further along in their career. But I would love to see those professional artists really uplift these galleries and shops that are showing those like underdogs kind of. So because there's some incredible art, but they don't know where to start getting it out there. And once you kind of give them that platform and give them that first stepping stone, it's really rewarding to just see them feel that confidence and kind of start learning what to do.
Okay, that's beautiful.
And so in doing so, you said that you would love for more seasoned artists to be doing this. So what has that done for you and for your creative presence?
Yeah, I've been given some opportunities just through putting myself out there. That's really that's what it comes down to, is those of us who have done the things that you need to do in order to gain that recognition or kind of find those opportunities. It's just really guiding the artists who know that they want to do this more professionally or make money with their work, but they don't really know where to start. But once you kind of get the ball rolling and you get a few big sales or commissions, you're like, it's momentum. And but yeah, just art placement, or I mean, you know how bands, they make it big and then they have an opener for their show, and that's kind of how they introduce people, or they choose certain bands to open for them because they want other people to see them. So just something like that, where there's more like fine art galleries that maybe have one show a year for emerging artists, or more public spaces having a call for work that is only emerging artists. So, because yeah, professional artists, I mean, incredible. That takes years and years, lifetime of work, or it's really difficult to make art your career. But once you get there, you just get excited about like, okay, I see this person working really hard and it's incredible, and I see them over here, and let's collaborate, or let's come with me. You can shadow me or whatever. So I've been really lucky to have those connections, and I definitely want to do that for other people.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
guess what? We're at the end of our episode. I don't know how we got there, but we're already at the end. I know. I feel like no, but we feel like we could talk to you forever.
Yes.
Because
Thank you.
really
Yes.
what you have given us today is so rich. And if you are at home watching this episode or listening to it on one of the many podcast platforms, or on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, you name it, we're there. And if this resonated with you, please like, share, subscribe, leave a review, because leaving a review helps other people find us on these podcast platforms. And if you want to learn more about Sarah, just go ahead to the show notes. We're going to link her information there. And guess what? We go to art shows and events all the time. So we want you to get off your couch. Yes, after you're done listening to this episode,
Yes.
get off your couch and go see this wonderful city. Like she said, Vincent First Fridays, come on in and just see the artists there, support these emerging artists. And I am just so excited to go on this journey with you all. And Dr. Gibbons, how about you give us an ending? Goodbye.
Well, as we like to say, this is the place where creatives love to go for inspiration. And I have definitely felt inspired by our brief time with you, Sarah. So thank you. And thank you to every creative or every aspiring creative who has joined us.
Thank you.
Thank you.